Oh Lord, pull up in that '04, pedal to the metal, says she wanna hit the floor more.
The Atlanta Hawks are the scariest team in the NBA playoffs. That's my story, and I'm definitely sticking to it. And I already hear you out there. I already hear you. What about the Brooklyn Nets? They got Kyrie Irving. They got Kevin Durant. They got James Harden. Yeah, but I mean, they're in a whole different category. I mean, same with Milwaukee Bucks and then the Philadelphia 76ers. I mean, and then all those teams out west, those powerhouse teams, they're sort of like old school horror film. Remember those Frankenstein movies where Frankenstein could see him coming a mile away? And he was moving so slow coming towards you. It was like he was going backwards. I mean, that's not really scary. I mean, if he gets his hand on you, I guess he's scary. But I mean, I'm talking about scary in the sense that you didn't see it coming. All right? And I know somebody out there is like, oh, what about the Phoenix Suns? Well, yeah, but with the Phoenix Suns, they got the State Farm guy, right? I mean, he's already in the Hall of Fame. Chris Paul. I mean, what's so surprising about that? You get Chris Paul, you're going to win a lot of games. He's a Hall of Famer, all right? Golden State, there's a lot of things. It's become fashionable to say that that's a team you don't want to play in the first round because of Steph Curry just playing out of his mind. But you know what? Steph Curry's one guy. If you take Steph Curry off of that roster, they have the worst scoring team in the NBA in something like 3 or 4 years. But the Atlanta Hawks, they have a complete team. The Atlanta Hawks, let's continue this horror movie thing. The Atlanta Hawks, they're like Michael Myers. Remember Michael Myers in Halloween? Not those other ones, but the Halloween 1? You didn't see Michael Myers coming. Whenever he came, I mean, it just came out of nowhere. Or Norman Bates from Psycho, the shower scene. I mean, that's the Atlanta Hawks. Think about this. This is a team that went through this past season with more injuries than anybody except for 2 other teams, and nobody had more significant injuries than Atlanta Hawks. This is an Atlanta Hawks team. I pointed this out on WSB Sports Zone on Sunday night. I do it right here in Atlanta, Georgia, 11:30. Check it out, all right? I pointed out on Sunday night that from the beginning of the year through the end of February, the Hawks were essentially playing without a head coach. They had an assistant coach disguised as a head coach, Lloyd Pierce, if you want to even call him that. He was overmatched. But think about this. Since March the 1st, Nate McMillan has taken over, and they've had the best record in the Eastern Conference. They still weren't healthy, okay? But slowly they went from being the worst team in the fourth quarter in the NBA to the best team in the fourth quarter in the NBA. They went from having all these guys sidelined to all these guys healthy now. Well, most of them. And the key one is DeAndre Hunter. Before DeAndre Hunter got injured, he was the second best player on the team behind Trae Young. It was pretty significant, right? And Clint Capella, oh my goodness, nobody's looking at this guy. He's talking about scary. Clint Capella's playing out of his mind. He go around down the line. They got shooters and Gallinari, and they got Bogdanovich. I mean, Herter's doing well. You got John Collins. Oh man, people say, well, he's not a max player. Well, I don't know about that. He's looking pretty good to me. Anyway, they're getting healthier and healthier. And here's the thing you got to know, all right? What makes them scary. They are now the 5th seed in the East, and the New York Knicks are the 4th seed. And that was all decided on the last day, all right? And that's actually good for the Hawks because, once again, they're sneaking up on people, all right? And the Knicks, during the regular season, the New York Knicks, everybody talks about, and they say, well, that's a surprise. They came out of nowhere. Well, yeah, I mean, they're pretty good defensively, and they got the guy Julius Randle. All right, I'm going to get to that in a minute. But again, okay, let's continue this thing where you come up from the shadows. All right, the Knicks and the Hawks played 3 times this year. As a matter of fact, that's a first round matchup this weekend. The Knicks against the Hawks. The Hawks are the underdogs because, well, they should be because the Knicks have home court advantage because they're the 4th seed to the Hawks' 5th seed. All right, anyway. So they played 3 times this year, Knicks and the Hawks. And the Hawks lost all 3 times. But you know what? What I'm drawing here is an asterisk. There's an asterisk behind each of those losses. The first loss was here in Atlanta, Georgia. The Hawks had a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter, and they blew it. You know why? Because they had They had an assistant coach disguised as a head coach in Lloyd Pierce, who's not there anymore. He made so many errors in that game. Anyway, that was one. Second game, they're playing in New York. Okay, Knicks win pretty handily because Julius Randle had a career game up to that point. He was just phenomenal. But he didn't have DeAndre Hunter guarding him. Guess what? This weekend, DeAndre Hunter is going to be guarding him because DeAndre Hunter is back from the injured list. That was game number 2. Game number 3 that they lost, the Hawks lost to them. Also, Madison Square Garden. This game goes into overtime. Hawks almost won the game. And this is in spite of the fact that they lost Trae Young to a leg injury in the fourth quarter. He's out of the game. Yeah, you had Clint Capella playing with a bad back. And they still almost won the game. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. They're scary. They're so scary. They're going to get out of the first round this week. They're so scary they're going to make it to the second round. And then after that, we'll talk about that.
This is my falsetto, wicked potion with the slow pour. This is my addiction, make me wanna go for more. Pale